let's see if I can get through what I have to say before I fall off. As an ex-business events vendor, I have a secret that no one wants me to share. And here's the thing. This doesn't just apply to events. This applies to like every industry that's out there. But the business events, they're just the lowest hanging fruit for making some real measurable sustainability impact. All right. So because the real power to drive sustainability, like really move that needle, isn't in marketing campaigns. And it's not in corporate pledges, and it's not in recycling bins or LED light bulbs. It's in the RFP, plain and simple. Yeah, the request for proposal. The document that buyers, not vendors, control. And if you demand sustainability from your vendors, you can force entire industries to move, literally. Right now, sustainability is treated as an afterthought. Most vendors and service providers won't prioritize it unless it's directly linked to revenue. So let's make it so. And I get it. Most businesses are built to chase what makes money, unless you're a sustainability consultant, in which case you're in the business of making sustainability make you money. It's not your primary focus otherwise. And that's exactly the issue. Most RFPs, the documents companies use to select their vendors, don't include sustainability as a deciding factor. They ask for pricing, experience, capabilities, but rarely demand real sustainability commitments, or benchmarking, or progress. But here's what no one is talking about. If buyers demanded sustainability in their RFPs, vendors would have no choice but to comply. And if the revenue from your event, your contract, or your business hinges on vendors meeting certain sustainability milestones, guess what? They'll do it. I had one RFP that I received from a friend in the tech industry who dictated a bill credit if we couldn't pass the sustainability certifications during the bid process. And we might lose the bid next contract renewal too if we weren't making progress towards those goals. And what I'll say is the company wasn't based in the US of A, and they have a different culture. But I liked that. And this doesn't just apply to business events though. This applies to the corporate procurement, retail supply chains, and product sourcing, everywhere that RFPs are used. But business events, they are the easiest place to start because of how fragmented the vendor ecosystem is. It's a funny thing. Think about it. Most vendors don't change unless there's financial motivation, because sustainability, while great for branding, isn't always a revenue generating activity, at least not initially. But what happens when clients, the people writing the actual checks, start saying we'll only work with vendors who meet sustainability standards, dictate that, you shift the entire industry overnight. It's like this. Imagine you're asking your friend to help you move. And it's a one-time thing, or they'll probably do it if that's the case. But if you ask too many times, or if you got a piano and you got like 12 screens and huge couch, they're gonna start avoiding your calls. Vendors are the same, and if you demand sustainability, but do it in an unrealistic way or one-sided way, they'll bail. It's not worth it. But if you approach them as a partner, assessing where they are now, and then tying incremental sustainability demands to their current capabilities, you'll keep them engaged and you'll make them want to evolve with you instead of fighting against the request and eventually just leaving. This is key. If you ask vendors to move towards sustainability and that decision comes with a cost, whether that's product development and R&D, increased planning, or higher production costs, you need to share the burden equitably. And notice I didn't say equally, because sometimes the client is in a position to absorb more of the upfront cost. And sometimes the vendor needs to take on more of the operational burden. The key is that it's mutual though. Here's the thing. Sustainability has marketability. And once vendors figure out how to implement those practices for you, they've gone through the R&D, they can use the same process with other clients. And it becomes a selling point that sets them apart from their competition. And that's where economies of scale come into play. The real R&D cost is in the first iteration. But as more clients ask for it, and as more vendors demand sustainable products from their suppliers, costs go down. Think about it. Why are we still building houses with wood instead of masonry like most of the rest of the world? It's not because masonry is bad. It's because the industry scaled around wood post-World War II, making it the more affordable option. Throughout my career, I prided myself on telling the truth and qualitatively selling the right solution, not just what was easiest. And it's why my clients tended to stay with me for years, because the best partnerships, they create this exponential value, not just this linear transaction that occurs. But here's the thing, I never said all of this or things like this in speaking sessions. And if you were in the audience, you only got a part of the conversation. You had to be within my circle of trust, if you will, to get the full picture. And that's a challenge. I wanted to build greater capabilities to be able to get this out there. And one where we have these conversations openly, where we figure out how to move the industry forward together. And that's exactly why I created my monthly newsletter, The Source. So I can dive deeper on these kinds of thought paths every month and other things too. So if you care about driving real change in business and operations, join me there. Or don't, and be stuck in your groove. I don't know, whatever. All right, catch you later.